Hey, this is me, Marvin of Everyday Marvin on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Today, I want to do a book review, which I don't normally do those, but I do these kind of things. But I want to do a book review today. And so, because I'm reading, and I love to read, my thing has always been celebrity bios. That's one thing I've always loved reading about. I've read Diana Ross. I've read, every time I didn't read anything right. Ross. Lauren Bacall, I believe. I read Audrey Hepburn. I think Katharine Hepburn. I read hers. I read some male ones too. I just can't think of them at the moment. It's like all these females, right? If I know, I read some male ones too. Like Sammy Davis Jr. I read some of his. I read Nat King Cole. I'm not sure if I read Frank Sinatra's or not. I might have. I wouldn't be surprised. I've just read a lot of celebrity bios. To me, Howard Hughes, I think I read his. I think I read, what's the other guy that did Citizen Kane? Dang, what's the guy's name? Dang it. I can't think of the guy's name. Orson Welles, I think I read his possibly. I just read a lot of different bios. Not Dinah Shore, but I read Lena Horne. I read hers. That was a good one too. To me, I just found it really, really interesting, just celebrities. And to me, I kind of see myself as eventually becoming one. And so I kind of want to read and glean everything I can from their lives and just kind of like, maybe kind of like take borrow a few lessons from them. But I found out a lot of times in reality, no matter how much you read about something, sometimes you really won't. I mean, there's some experience you don't have to have yourself to know, you know. But there's some experiences in life you just have to kind of go through yourself. No matter how much you can read about it, you just have to kind of experience it yourself and kind of book that. That way it gives you some kind of life experience. Again, I don't feel like you have to experience everything that everyone else does, but I think to some degree you need to experience some things yourself to kind of know the reality of something. I'm like, okay, now I know that for myself, you know. So anyway, to the review I'm doing today. So, Marilyn by Lois Banner. This book. Now, to be honest, Marilyn Monroe is always one of the biggest American icons of all time. Pretty much, she's right up there with John Wayne, James Dean. You know, these kind of people, you know, that you just always think of who will always have a mark on society as a whole. But as an actress, you know, I liked Marilyn Monroe. I did until I got this book. I liked her, but I wasn't just like crazy about her like some people are. People just like, I love this girl. I have friends who literally have pictures of her with random quotes on their walls in their living room. You know, this is how like big this particular celebrity was and still is in a lot of degrees, even after their death. And so, so she does have some kind of little thing about it. When you watch her, you can tell it's like something about this chick that's just like different. You know, you can't like, put your finger on it, but it's that X factor. When a star has the X factor, it's that thing that just kind of just pulls you to them. You're not sure exactly what it is. Normally it's a number of things, but there's always that one like question mark ingredient. You just can't put your hands on it, you know. And so Marilyn, she had it. She had that X thing, and she knew how to work it. And to be honest, she honestly, she didn't get to that point with herself overnight. You know, she kind of like gradually got that. She learned different things about herself and what people like and what worked and what didn't work. Now, to be honest, before I got this book, again, Marilyn, was it? The Passion and the Paradox. Marilyn by Lois Banner. Let's make sure you know what it is. I knew something about her. You know, I've seen a couple of her movies. I saw, you know, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. I've seen Some Like It Hot, which I really like that movie. I've seen How to Marry a Millionaire on Netflix. I've seen a couple of her movies. There's just some I really need to see, like Asphalt Jungle, and to see that. I like to see some of her more minor ones, like Clash by Night and Love Happy, and some of those other ones. And then also I saw All About Eve, where she was also in here, a bit part in that. But I think it was important for her to kind of get her foot in the door kind of part. And so, she has obviously been... Oh, and 7 Year Itch, I saw that. Which, to be honest, it's a good movie, but it's not my favorite one. And so, even though it's probably one of the more famous ones she's known for, because of that one scene where, like, you know, she's standing over the subway grate and her dress goes up, whatever. So, but to be honest, Marilyn is a very there's a number of things going on with her. I mean, yes, she has that image of, being like, the blonde and sexy and kind of airheady, not that bright, in a lot of her movies. But I think in a lot of ways, she had a lot of things going on. And I found, actually, with a lot of these stars that have a certain kind of image about them, there's normally layers of things going on with them, and they're not just that one dimension. There's typically tons of different dimensions that don't get shown on, movies and TV and whatnot. And so, I think one thing that kind of like really sprung up my interest about her more was when I saw the movie with Michelle Williams. Was it A Week with Marilyn or whatever? That's a good movie. I actually went out and bought that movie because I liked it in theater so much. It was well acted. It made Marilyn seem like a real person, not just some big, cartoon character or like this caricature. Made her seem more realistic, like how she actually would act, from day to day. And it was just an enjoyable movie seeing it. After that, I had to go see The Prince and the Showgirl movie because that's actually where that movie's taking place during that time when that movie is being made. And so, with, I think it's Laurence Olivier. Is it him? Please forgive me if I chose the wrong actor. But anyway, and so, yeah, so my interest had kind of been sparking about her, in the past year or so. And so I went ahead and I was at the library and I saw this book and I was like, I love celebrity bios. And so I had to get this book. So I got it and I was like, okay, I'm going to read about this. Now, again, I've known a little bit about the woman. I knew she probably had like some kind of like thing going on in her childhood that probably wasn't that great. And a lot of times what happens to a lot of stars, their childhood just really aren't that great. And so I kind of feel like to make up for that, a lot of times they will try to get like approval from the world in a sense, to feel like they belong, to feel like they're loved. And I kind of relate to that in a sense. And so a lot of that kind of went on with her. So in her case, she had a mom. Her dad, she actually doesn't even know who her dad really was. Her mom was, I think, with two guys at the same time or something. And so she thinks it's one guy, but it could be this other guy. And then when she finally does try to reach out to her dad throughout her life, he doesn't really want to respond to her. And so I think she felt a certain way about that. I think that impacted her psyche and just, how she handled and how she dealt with herself and how she dealt with men in the world in general. And to me, I found a lot of times if people don't have good relationships with their parents, or a particular parent they don't have a good relationship with, or they just, like, for instance, they're really good with their mom, but it's sex with their dad, or vice versa, that stuff is going to affect you later on. Like, it just has a way of coming out. And being a person myself is someone who doesn't have, who's, their real dad is non-existent in their life, and then also their stepdad, that relationship just sucked. Between those two things, I think I have also a really weird relationship with men and guys in general due to those two bad relationships with my father figures. I think those are always going to have a big impact on me, whether I want to admit it sometimes or not. And so I definitely relate to it. I think part of that kind of drew me into her story more because it talked about how, again, she know who her father was, her mom relationship, the relationship that she had with her mom, it was kind of off because her mom, she wasn't exactly the most stable person in the world. She was kind of mentally in and out, and she was a like religious fanatic on top of it. And a lot of times you mix religion with just full out craziness, it just doesn't make a very pretty picture. And so she had to deal with that. And then Marilyn, she was like, went from foster home to foster home a lot, and she had like all these different little kind of like foster families that she stayed with throughout her life. And then when she finally did get to a certain age, I think she was like 16 or whatnot, the only way she actually was about to go into an orphanage unless she basically decided to marry somebody to get out of that. And so it's kind of a really kind of like thrown everywhere kind of childhood. When you're thrown everywhere all the way about like that, you're going to feel a place of just kind of like, you're going to feel kind of like out of place and never just really like you belong to anything. And so that was interesting learning about that. I definitely recommend you go and read the book and really learn more about her actual childhood, because that's a very interesting thing. You can understand why she became the way she became. And also it's implied that at some point she was like abused sexually at some point as a child, and that also had an impact on her psyche, which makes sense why she acts the way she acts later on in life. And the funny thing was, she wasn't really looking, she wanted to be a star, but she wasn't just like, doggedly like, down with me. She obviously wanted to a degree, but someone basically just kind of discovered her in a factory working. Like, hey, you should take some pictures. She took some pictures, and then one thing kind of led to another, and she had a couple bit parts here and there. Even done a commercial, I believe. And, eventually she just kind of ended up with her first part after a while. And the weird thing about Marilyn is that even though she was a big star, the studios didn't really treat her very like with a lot of respect. They still kind of saw her as just like this little dumb blonde thing that they make some money off of. And it's gonna be dispensable and then you miss. Hey, this is me, Marvin of Everyday Marvin on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Even though I sporadically make videos, the videos that I do make are pretty entertaining to watch. And so I started originally recording. This actually will be part 2 of what I started a couple of days ago. This book, Marilyn, The Passion and the Paradox, written by Lois Banner. And it looks like I never even read this book before, huh? So this book is a good book. So I had mentioned in my previous video, which I should have it connected to this one as well, that I like Marilyn Monroe. I've been a fan of her to an extent. I wasn't just like a crazy fan about her. I wasn't just really like a crazy fan for her like some people that I know. But I saw her autobiography, in the library, and I was just like, I saw this book. I was like, I want to read something that's going to be interesting, and then just kind of pulled me in with the summary and whatnot. So I went ahead and read it, and she lived a real Hollywood life for sure. Many marriages, many affairs, lots and lots of issues, personal issues that just kind of got in the way of her performing and doing better. And also there was like some physical issues that she had. One of them being, I think it's called endomitis. Basically, I believe it's where, I guess, the lining of something about the lining of the uterus and the skin growing over it, or something growing where it's not supposed to be growing, and that led to a lot of issues for her, and the possibility that she might actually be lesbian or bisexual on some nature as well, which was also apparently an issue or something she had to deal with, being that she was such a great heterosexual icon for many, many men. There was even speculation that it's possible that, she only really got excited by being with another woman. That could have been, it's also another thing that's talked about in the book. But Lois Banner does a great job just kind of taking a good overall view of her life and what people have written about her and what people have said about her in videos and stuff. It's kind of putting it all into like one solid, kind of like definitive, this is the woman that was and is or was, and for anyone who's never read anything about Marilyn Monroe before, I think this actually is a great book to get, because to me I feel like the book made her human. It didn't try to make her perfect. It basically was just kind of like, here's her good traits, here's her bad traits, while she could be very nice and helpful to others and charitable and effervescent and whatnot, she also could be very insecure, very childlike, and she didn't get angry. She had I think a lot of anger issues and things as well, stemming from her childhood and stemming from being abandoned and going through so many different foster homes growing up, to where I feel like, again, she never really felt like she really belonged or really had anyone that just really wanted to take her, for what she was. And she suffered from paranoia. That was in the book as well. People that she would be cool with, all of a sudden after a while she's kind of like feel like she kind of became like her versus them. She had a lot of insecurities about her acting abilities as well, even though she progressively got better with time. She's very insecure about that. Also kind of insecure about her looks as well, and she had to go through surgeries and things to correct things to get that look that she finally did obtain. I'll be honest, when I look at her earlier photos, you can see it's her, but you can see she didn't quite have that full dazzle yet, like she'll get later on in life. She wanted to have a baby. Unfortunately, she had a miscarriage or two. That also didn't help with her own self-esteem issues and her marriages, because she was married to Jim Daughtry when she was like 16, really, really young. Then she divorced him eventually. Then she was married to, I want to say, a few other people. Joe DiMaggio, which was like this really big baseball player. She was married to him for a while, and it didn't really work out. She was married to Arthur Miller, who wrote several plays, with her in mind, which became famous, like The Crucible, and there was another one that he wrote that became famous eventually, and a few others that, basically encapsulated on Marilyn, her whole persona and what she was, whether it was in a good light or bad light. Those plays were written with her in mind on some level, and those marriages that she got into, I feel like just from the reading that she got into marriages because she wanted someone to take care of her. She never really felt like she was really could be fully secure anywhere because, again, going back to her childhood, she went through a lot of foster homes. She was sexually abused as a child, and her mother was crazy, to be honest. And her mother wasn't really around. Her mother was in and out, and she was very religious. And then Marilyn, she suffered with kind of like the catch-22 of, okay, yes, I'm a sex symbol, but then also I have like these very, very conservative and religious, background and like, kind of like backdrop, and kind of feeling conflicted about that. And just a lot of different things are going on with her to where eventually it was going to bring her all down, just too many things coming at her and, trying to manage like a company, and then trying to get in movies and then also not getting much respect for her acting ability from the studios because they felt like she was just like another dispensable blonde that they could just pick up and drop and find someone to replace her at any time, and not giving her more dramatic roles like she wanted or holding out on her for different offers and stuff. And then eventually she gets wrapped up with the Kennedy. She starts messing around with them, and these guys are like political dudes and have images to uphold, and they're not going to really take her too seriously beyond just some flings that happen or whatever. And Lois Banner just does a great job again, just taking all the different bits of pieces of information and interviews and things and videos and stuff, and just compiling them into one. Again, I feel like definitive book of Marilyn. And honestly, I haven't read any other Marilyn Monroe biographies besides this one. But I feel like this kind of honestly is all I really need to read about her because it goes into great detail about how she went into therapists and how she was psychoanalyzed and how she needed like a kind of acting coach with her a lot of times when she was on sets, and how people didn't like that because sometimes they felt like the acting coaches interfered with what the director was trying to do. How she had a lot of issues with directors because of her, not so much at first, but eventually as she became a bigger star, she started having more problems with showing up on time, wanting many retakes of stuff that hey, it's me. I had to pause for the stupid train was going. So she just had a lot of things going on, and I think one thing that just really didn't help, which is something I personally suffer with, is she would be very manic depressive. So she would go from being really, really cool for a while, and then all of a sudden she just kind of just crash, and she just wouldn't want to do anything. And talked in the book also about how she had dogs or had pets, and she would just let her pets just kind of, when she wasn't feeling all that great, she kind of, she let her pets or dogs just leave dog stains and stuff behind, or dog droppings, because she just would go through these modes where she'd be really, really high, really, really great, and then she would just drop. And when she drops, she doesn't want to do anything, very lethargic, very unhappy, just want to be by herself. And so, and I relate to that, just going from just like a very, very high, like, oh my gosh, it's like nothing can bring you down. And then all of a sudden you just drop. And when you drop, when you're a person that has that disorder going on, it's just like, it feels like it's the lowest thing in the world. Like you just have no energy to do anything. You're just like, you almost just want to just go ahead and just die. Because you're just like, you feel like you're never going to be happy again almost. You feel like you're just kind of like stuck in this mode and everything's kind of like shaded. And it's very rough. And so, as an actress, I liked her work, and I think she had potential to go on and probably do better, even better work. She was a good comedian, I give her that, and she knew how to work the camera. Fortunately, we didn't have to actually see how many times she had to go through a lot of these takes and whatnot, because I'm pretty sure it would have been just like, so like, oh my gosh, can we ever get this done? But I saw the movie My Week with Marilyn, which is a good movie. I recommend you go ahead and watch it. Go watch it on Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, whatever you can find. That's a good movie, and I actually went out and bought it because it was just that good. I thought it was just that good, and I think it did a good job of making Marilyn Monroe go from an icon or this image to like a real person as well. And so I thought that's what the book did. The book showed her good side and her bad side, and it didn't hold any real punches. And it just was a good book to read. I recommend anyone who is interested in learning about Marilyn Monroe, learn some good, solid information about her, which is what I feel like I'm getting from the book. For someone who actually went and researched and interviewed many people and went through archives and crap like that. They should check out this by Marilyn, The Passion and Paradox by Lois Banner. Definitely check it out. I liked it. I'd recommend it. I maybe even would consider, in the future, a year or two from now, reading it again. It's just that informative and that good. And again, I saw a lot of myself in her character, and I think a lot of times when people find certain celebrities that they like, I think they identify with something in them. They're just like, you know what, that thing, I identify with that, and it just kind of gravitates people, pulls people towards them. Because a lot of ways about how she was very kind of childlike, and she talked and stuff, and I relate to that. I feel like I'm still, even though I'm in my early 30s now, I still feel a lot like a child. And I don't think that's ever really gonna go away. And then talk about her mood swings, and she have temper tantrums and stuff. And I kind of have those sometimes, And it's like I just never really fully grew up out of that. And I feel like for her, she never really grew up out of that. 10 to 16-year-old girl. She's always kind of that same person. Always kind of looking for that father figure she never had, or that stable family she always wanted and could never obtain for whatever reason. So, again, I recommend the book. It's my review of it. Go out there, rent it, Kindle it, buy it. Go out there and get the book. I liked it. I think you'll like it if you're a Marilyn Monroe fan, or even if you're someone who has even a mild interest in her. You'll learn some pretty cool stuff, and some stuff I couldn't even cover in this video because it just makes the video way too long. So again, it's me, Marvin, of Everyday Marvin. Make sure you like, subscribe to my channel. And yeah, that's it. I guess you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook. No, I don't think I'm on Facebook. Yeah, I was on Facebook. Instagram, and that might Tumblr or something like that. And make sure you check out some free stuff I got down there. Free stuff where you can win discounts, win prizes, win money. And so check all that stuff out down there. Again, thank you for watching. You have